like lacking devices to retweet things on. So
Okay, fine. Hello, Internets. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric,
And I'm going to play Marvel Heroes tonight.
and
Me
you're
too.
But
Oh,
not with Joe because he won't invite us.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
He's like, oh, that'd be cool. Too bad I won't play with you guys. And you're listening to Just Cool Enough. Honestly, of all of the characters, it's funny. They have this promotion in Marvel Heroes. If you play 2 days in a row, they give you enough whatever in-game currency to unlock a character for free. And I went with Squirrel Girl because why not? And I never see, like, I see all the other characters. I've never seen another Squirrel Girl running around the world. It's like nobody else plays Squirrel Girl.
That's probably because it's so hard to say. Squirrel girl. It's just like it's like a unique New York or something. It's like a voice warm up. What is her powers?
Well,
Squirrels.
she has enhanced agility and strength.
Okay.
She has claws, a squirrel tail, and she can summon squirrels to fight for her.
That sounds like something you would like to play. That definitely sounds like you.
Well, it's
All right,
nice
so
because she's an okay beat 'em up character, but as you punch things, more squirrels show up and attack the things that you're fighting, and then you can like
Oh,
direct
that's
them
cool.
around and stuff. So it's
It's-
kind of like
it's like
dots,
an
but
RTS.
instead of dots, it's squirrels.
squirrels over time. So squats, right?
Yeah.
More squats. More squats.
More squats now.
Squats. Stop squats.
Many
Run to
squats,
the center.
I don't understand what you're asking for. Oh, you mean squirrel dots? Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Squirrel
confused.
dots, of course.
I've been doing squats.
Stop getting fit and start getting some squats in, Ike. Listeners, this is a special announcement. Send emails to the show at justcoolenough.com. It's very important that you do this because we like communicating with listeners.
Well, we
Listeners,
were supposed to
again,
get one this week, Joe, but he ended up not formatting it correctly and sending it. But we had one from Wolf who was complaining that you don't want to be his friend.
okay, and that's actually something I have to address. I had multiple people tell me that I was really mean to Wolf last week on the show, and I'd like
Multiple
to formally
people?
apologize. Yeah, I did. Not just you. Actually, I had two other listeners contact me off public social media. Like, dude, you were kind of mean to Wolf last. Like, what did he do to you? I was like, I was just joking. He's like, he doesn't know that. I'm like, maybe he does. Maybe he listens to the show and he knows I'm an asshole. He's like, no, that's not an excuse. You shouldn't be mean to people. I'm like, all right. So I had like a moment with like two people
Really,
because
that's Eric's department, being mean to people.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not good at it. I don't wear it well.
Yeah.
But
People expect it from me.
Yep.
Eric's not mean to people. He's just very frank, and he doesn't because he's
not
just
frank.
you know.
Well, my social ineptness and insecurities come off as dickishness. Just like I come off as an asshole because I don't want to talk to people because I'm terrified of people.
Yeah, see, and that makes sense. So, it actually doesn't make any sense. So yeah, well, like I was saying, guys, send in some emails to the show. We want to hear from you. What's going on in your life? You know, we need to know more about our listeners. Do some market research.
Oh, also,
But-
so I just want to point out to the listeners, I tweeted and shit about this, but we haven't said it on air. So I spent the last 2 weeks uploading every fucking single episode of Just Cool Enough to Shout Engine. So now our RSS feed finally has the first time in I don't know
Forever.
3 years has every episode of Just Cool Enough. Because they were when we switched over from Squarespace 6 to Squarespace 7, or no, from Squarespace 5
It
to
was 5 to
Squarespace
6.
6.
Yeah.
It fucked up our feed and because of the URLs because we were hosting them on our site, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll just use Shout Engine, and so about 3 years now we've been I went back and I started like putting them up, but then I got lazy because it's time consuming. But I finally fucking sat down and I uploaded the 140 episodes, not including commentaries, like 7 or 8 commentaries that hadn't been up there. So now every single Just Cool Enough episode,
Dude.
even the ones we don't want you to hear, and the commentaries are all up on our iTunes and RSS feed and at shoutengine.com.
Dude, that is fucking amazing. I wish I would give you a hug right now, but it would just be really weird because you're not here.
Yeah.
Do you,
It'd be
Do you
really
think
weird
anybody's
watching you
gonna-
go from like one screen into the next and just hug Eric,
Yeah.
and all the time people are
That-
like, I thought they were two different buildings. They've been right next to each other this whole time.
I would like to announce that I'm actually in the same building as Eric and go give him a hug. Just freak people out.
Yeah, you just turn around and I'm like, I'm literally just right next to you.
If I do a California trip, that's what we're doing.
We
The
like
one
to
time-
hit the walls behind
The
you.
one time we
could
did
be.
a podcast in the same room at one of the, we did it in a hotel just outside of the Anaheim Convention Center, and we literally weren't facing each other because we couldn't, because like the desk was here and there's only enough room for my laptop and his laptop was over and the other mic, so we literally couldn't face each other. There was like a mirror where I could kind of see him, but we did a podcast back to back in the same hotel room.
That's when I knew I would do over 280 episodes with Eric on a totally different show. So that's great. So how'd you guys' week go? You guys do everything great, perfect, awesome, lovely? I've been what I've been doing is every time something interesting happens, I've wrote it down, and then so I can talk about things.
Well, I got to play a bit of The Witcher 2, not as much as I'd like, because it unlocked Monday, and Monday night I had a show which I was really happy about. It was called Remake Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Basically, a bunch of like 8 different sketch teams, including mine, all got a scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and we remade it in sketch form, and then we did the whole thing in chronological order, and it went over pretty well, I think. But unfortunately, the other show that we were paired with dropped out, so we only had like half the audience we probably could have because we had to like fill the crowd. So that kind of sucked. So it wasn't a huge crowd, but it was a good.
They were working on the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever, and then they're like, this kind of sucks. We're not doing this anymore.
I don't know what the fuck, but it was like last minute too. It was like the Wednesday before our thing. It's like, fuck. Are they gonna fill it with something? Nope, you're fucked. It's like, god damn it. So
you
that was
lost
pretty
half
good.
your audience.
And then like I had to immediately leave for that and go to game night, so I didn't get to play that much. And then Tuesday, I had more time to play, and it's The Witcher.
Is it good? Is it worth picking up?
I'm enjoying
then?
it. I'm enjoying.
I haven't played any of them. But, okay, explain The Witcher for dummies. I'm a freaking idiot here. Now tell me about The Witcher.
The Witcher is based off a series of Polish fantasy novels that I really enjoy. But this general idea is in the Witcher games, you are Geralt of Rivia, who is a Witcher, which is essentially a monster hunter for hire. He goes around towns and looks at like notice boards, and people say, "Hey, there's a griffin. We'll pay you this much money to kill it." Like he doesn't do it for free, so he kind of goes around and killing stuff for money, and that's sort of his job. But there's a whole like story now. This is the third one. I don't know. I mean, you definitely could skip the first one because the first one is he has amnesia and doesn't know what's going on. The second one he's partial amnesia and kind of know. But so far I'm not that far into it. But from the last one to this one, the story doesn't seem to have followed as much because
It's kind of more about the gameplay at this point, then.
No, I mean there's a big story involved because there's this woman who's in the books is named Yennefer, who's basically the woman he loves in all of the books.
Jennifer with a Y.
Yeah, and it's him tracking her down, and I don't know. That's not from the second. I mean, that doesn't exactly follow from where the second one left off.
Sounds
so I
like
don't know.
It's like we'll just put a placeholder name in there. What do we call her, guys? Yennefer, and then like they all giggled, and then
that's been her name since the early '90s or whatever when the books came out in Polish. But yeah, it's this story seems like it's more in line. It's more of it has more to do with the books than the other ones did because there's like 2 collections of short stories which are honestly my favorite of all the Witcher books. Last Wish especially is really good, and then there's a series of sort of like one large chronicled epic storyline told over several books, not all of which are in English yet. And it seems like this is like after all of that because it involves a lot of the same characters from that. So, but I don't think you have to read the book. So,
Ike, what have you been up to this week?
I've been playing a lot of Here's the Storm. because I put Kelthos out and a few other cool skins, and I've been trying to keep my fitness up with my new fitness band that we were talking about a few weeks ago.
That I didn't
And
get.
I decided to unsubscribe to Blue Apron.
Oh no! Wait, because I have a Blue Apron video that I cut and I have some voiceover on that I'm still working on. That's kind of a review of it. What is your impressions of it though?
It was mostly that my girlfriend didn't feel like it was worth the $60 when we could get it for a lot cheaper for a lot more at the store.
Jesus Christ, it's $60.
Okay. Let me explain. Because I've sent free Blue Apron packs out to. By the way, listener, if you guys want to try a Blue Apron and you live in the continental United States, just send an email to the show and I have like 2 more I can give away. But so the thing is, it's $60 for 2 people, and that's 3 meals, right? So that roughly comes out to about $9 a plate, which sounds fucking crazy, right? Like who would pay $9 a plate to eat at home when you could go do all that same stuff for much cheaper? But it's for I don't know. I just go for it. I want to hear what you guys say.
There's a convenience cost. I do enjoy it. I like the food. It's I think last week though, of the 3 meals we had, we felt one was no good. So
Right.
there was $20 out the window if you don't like.
Was it the
what you
salad?
get. Yes. And
I still have some of that salad.
Me too. Because I was like, maybe I'll take it for lunch the next day. Yeah.
Nope. No, you got to separate the leaves if you do that. You'll end up with a shitty salad.
So,
But yes.
So we decided, like, and I was talking to one of my other friends. He's like, oh, I'm like, because I know one of my other friends belongs to one of the food ones, and I can't remember what it is. But I'm like, how much do you pay? It's like $60. I'm like, okay, so the same amount. I'm like, and how do you do you just get whatever they send you? He's like, no, you get 7 choices every week, and you pick the 3 that you want, and they send you those 3. So you have a choice where you don't get a choice.
What one is that?
I'm gonna have to ask him. He mentioned it to me, and I totally forgot. So I'm gonna ask him what it is.
You know, I can go to Eat24 right now, and I can order a gyro, a nice lamb gyro for about
It's
$9.
Euro.
And I don't have to cook it. It'll be here maybe in an hour, and it'll be delicious.
This is more wholesome stuff. Like the Blue Apron stuff.
The vegetables are fresh. I mean, I would still stand by it.
I could get a Greek salad. I could get a lot of really fresh shit. There's some really great places I could order delivery from for about $9 a plate.
Right, exactly, and but that's the convenience factor for me is I don't have to go to the store, right? Like, and I gave this to a couple other people, and they were like, oh, I have a family. It just doesn't work out when you have this family because they want you. Like, my big complaint about Blue Apron is they make me use so many kitchen appliances. Like, I have to clean a lot of stuff up after I'm done. I'm like, man. They're like, use this other pot to cook in this other pot with extra gravy pots here. And then, like, use your tongs to use your mandolin and mix this. I'm like, I'm making such a mess and it's such a bitch to clean up.
They have a really good thing going because when I was clicking on there trying to, like, unsubscribe, they're like, one of the things in their store is, hey, you can buy this 10-piece bowl set because that's everything. They're like, put this in a bowl, put this in another bowl. You should put this in a bowl. And the other big complaint that I had last week was like looking at the food. It's like, yeah, separate the ramps into a bowl. So I'm like, I'm looking at the ramps and it's like 40.
Ramps is a real. It's not a vert ramp. It's not for skateboards or stunt cars. This is a vegetable of some sort that I didn't know existed.
I was all ready to subscribe. I was like, you can do sweet ramp tricks. Oh, because my BMX career is really. I'm trying to get really into.
You got to
BMX.
separate the ramps. Drop in on the vert. And separate those ramps.
I got
Twitter.
a skateboard.
I deleted Twitter last week, and then I remember after you said you had complained through Twitter to Blue Apron, they're like, oh, here's some free whatever. So I went and re-downloaded so that I could tweet about Blue Apron, who was like, oh, there's like 30 ramps in this picture. It was probably like 15. I'm like, and I get 3. So their bowl is like overflowing with ramps, and like you pour this juice in there, and you let them sit. I'm like, I have 3 ramps. And a whole hell of a lot of soy sauce to put over, whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, why does this not look anything like the picture? It's like, oh, you'll have all of these green leaves, and I'm like, oh, I got like 2 green leaves, 1 for each of us.
I've had a pretty good experience though. One of my boxes did get lost though when there was like some bad stories over in Jersey. They're like, do you still want this box? I'm like, no, it's been sitting for like a month. It has old food in it. Like somebody else take care of that. And then like another big complaint is they send you like the boxes they used to send you were huge, and they've decreased the size, at least for me. But you end up with a lot of extra packing material, a lot of like cooling and packing material. I don't know what
so many ice, like dry
I know.
ice.
I've had Blue Apron for like 3 months, and I know I can go camping and stay cool and
For
keep
4
up-
years.
For 4 years.
The other cold, like the ice packs will keep the other ice packs from freezing. I mean, from
like
not freezing, from
it's
thawing
like
out.
reverse fusion or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's terrible, but
So I like the food. I like the experience. It's a little on the expensive side, knowing that there might be something out there if I want to keep doing it where I can pick what I get for $60 versus just some crap showing up. Then
You know where's a good place if you wanna honestly if you wanna kind of know pick and choose some foods and sort of pick
called
the
the
things you
grocery
want.
store.
Yeah, it's called any fucking grocery store or even gas station.
Now, I know this is difficult for you, Eric, because I know that you've never had an actual job. But when you work from like 9 to 5 and then you have to go to the grocery store, that's an inconvenience for me because then I have to come home, do the dishes so that I can cook, so that I can do the dishes again, and then I have to come on this fucking show. So I have like no time to myself from the time I leave school to the time I get here. Whereas if I didn't work all day and lived in my mom's house, I could just go to the corner store and eat all the fucking food I want and not have to pay anything.
get all the fucking
I'm
delivery.
sorry, that was a little too ragey.
I like Ragey Ike. He's nice. He's real nice.
Yeah,
It's a
I
glimmer.
love it. It's like, listen, you don't understand. White people problems. White people problems. White people problems.
That's our show. Our whole show is white people problems.
Listen, you don't understand. I have white privilege. It's really hard for me to sometimes go to
My-
the store for 30 minutes.
That's all those
and
African
pick out a
listeners out
bunch
there
of
when
fucking
Joe's
frozen
like,
pizzas.
and they left my food in, and it went bad. I didn't get my food in the mail, and I'm sure there's African people that I'd still take it.
Why would you leave your food in the mail?
That's a stupid place for it.
This is exactly it. Like, and then Eric, you plugged that like shame box thing
Yeah.
last week. I watched it and I was like, oh god, this hits really close to home because I get my razors delivered to me, and then for 3 days a week I get food delivered to me. And what else do I get? I signed up for Nature Box just to see what that was about, and that's pretty good stuff. But
I thought about trying it, but
you could like I go to the farmer's market and like all the things I liked from Nature Box because I ended up buying 2 boxes at once, just trying everything, and then we just deconstructed the recipes and now we make our own for like $3 for instead of paying a ridiculous amount, we pay a lot less and just make our own.
well, that's
but,
why like I felt like doing the Blue Apron for like a month.
right.
But then I realized that like when I went to unsubscribe from Blue Apron, they're like, "Would you still like to receive our emails with our recipes?" I was like,
what?
Fuck yeah, I'd still like the recipes.
Wait, they
So
still
that
give
way
you
I
the
don't have-
recipes?
That way
You-
I don't have to get the food through the mail, and I can go out and buy the shit. that
Where
I
are you
need.
gonna get ramps from? You gotta go down to the hardware store, pick up ramps, and then cook
Yeah,
your food.
look at some 2x4s. I don't got time for that.
But that's the thing I like about Blue Apron because it's like your mom force feeding you when you're a kid. You're like, I don't want it, and then Blue Apron's like, no, you paid $60 for this, you have to eat it. You're like, all right, fine, I'll fucking try it, but I'm not gonna like it. I don't like vinegar in all my food, and I'm like, actually, that's pretty good. That's
The other
actually.
The other complaint that my girlfriend has is like you, because most of the time I'll end up cooking, and it's my job to do the dishes. So I'll like do tacos.
Wait, you
one
gotta do
night.
double duty?
Yeah.
Wait
So
a
I'll put-
second.
I
That's
don't
a whole.
have to do laundry though.
Oh, okay. All right, I get it.
Which is mainly so that I can save her clothes from being destroyed because she has to take all this shit out and not make sure it goes through the dryer, and I just put all my shit through the dryer. So anyway, so I'm doing. I come home and I have like tacos, so I put the taco stuff, and then the next day I'm like, maybe I'll do chicken, but I don't wash the taco stuff. I just make the chicken, and then I put those in there, and then like by the end of the week, she's getting pissed that I'm not doing the dishes. But with Blue Apron, especially this week because we're leaving Friday and I got it yesterday, so I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have to use Blue Apron, so that means I come home every night, I do the dishes, and I make dinner, and there's nothing left in the sink. So
This-
it's actually encouraging a cleaner house.
This is what happened to me. Like we had to go out. We were doing a bunch of stuff, and then we realized like, oh shit, we got 2 meals that we hadn't cooked yet. We're like, all right, it's a double Blue Apron night. So like, I'm cooking one meal, Sarah's cooking the other, and we're like fighting over. I'm like, why do you keep turning the sink off? She's like, because I'm using, like, don't waste water. I'm like, that's not how I cook. And she's like, where's the knife? I'm like, it's here right here.
How do
She's
you
like,
have so many bowls? Because you need at least 50 bowls for each.
I went out, got some new bowls, got a ramp, and it was
know,
still.
I wasn't convinced until now. Just now. Now I'm convinced to try it. God, what? Nothing you've ever said. You're like, yeah, but I don't have time to go to the grocery store. Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, Blue Apron. A guy from Blue Apron comes and he punches you in the face for every day you don't eat one of your meals. But I don't have time to go to the grocery store, okay? They sent me a picture with my mom tied to a chair with a gun to her head, holding yesterday's newspaper to show me that she was still alive. But, you know, I have work.
I tasted water chestnuts for the first time, so it was worth it.
Yeah.
So the silver lining is I'll still get all the recipes and not have to worry about getting any of the food.
That's, and then you could pick.
That's what I really wanted. I was like, oh, I can build up a whole bunch of recipes that I really like, and then I can just unsubscribe and just keep making them. But now I can just get the recipes and make them anyway.
No, I actually do like it. It is super convenient to just come home and have the ingredients ready to go, and then you already know that somebody has tested it to make sure the meal's not too shitty. I've only had probably in the month or two that I've done it. I've only had one meal that I really didn't like, and then the other, I had the one just recently that I didn't, so that's pretty good. But you get to try a lot of new things, and I'm learning how to cook and different techniques on how to do, different
That's why here
things.
at Just Cool Enough, we're announcing our brand new service, Just Cool Enough Apron, where we will be sending you ingredients and full recipes for meals none of us have tried. We're just assuming. We mostly just built this on we built an aggregator that just kind of put random ingredients together. We have no idea.
It's not even ingredients. It's actually household items.
Go with the recipe that we send you.
I mean,
this week's ingredients include hand purification lubricant stuff.
No, I mean everything is technically edible. Technically edible.
This cat hair.
But we don't know what it will taste like, or if the concoction will like when you mix bleach and whatever that other cleaning fluid is, and it kills you. Yeah, ammonia. Bleach and ammonia. It's like that.
Chlorine gas.
Individually, but you put them together, maybe you'll make mustard gas. We don't know. We haven't tested it, and so that's sort of the point. You're paying. And
we have a breast detection school, and we're actually going to open up a new wing. It's the JCE Culinary School.
It's the cordon new.
Just cordon bleu.
It's a big hit already. I already know it.
Yeah. So
no, it's actually just cordon you, so you can still keep it JCE.
Yeah, I like that. Just cordon you.
No, it's just cordon you.
This week at Just Cordon You, we have a delectable selection of vegetables fresh from our garden. Our garden consists of my backyard full of dandelions.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a grasshopper. There's some protein. Just put it in the box.
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice. It still showed up chirping.
If you pay $30 a month, you will find a box full of technically edible materials.
Just put in a bunch of Nature Valley bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Sawdust.
And this week you'll be smearing peanut butter on your Nature Valley bar and drizzling it with turpentine. Sorry, we ran out of chocolate sauce. Delectable. We need to come up with a box for us, for our own purposes. I don't know. I don't use anything just one
box of crap. But unfortunately, what was it? The Cards Against Humanity already got to it before we did.
No, we can do the mega box, guys. We include all the stuff that we'll buy a loot crate. We'll buy a few Blue Apron things. We'll get some snacks from the other box. We'll get some razors from
Harry's. Everything we don't like in it.
Yeah, we'll use the stuff we like. And then the random things.
We did this chicken salad last week that we really didn't like, so I'm just going to throw that in the mega box.
Pre-prepared food. We can deliver pre-prepared. You know what would be really good if we made a factory and then just made all the food frozen, and then we could ship it out.
Well, with all of the ice packs we're getting from Blue Apron, we could totally ship it out.
And I will tell you, just one of these boxes, one lucky winner, will get my PlayStation PSP portable version of Van Wilder on one of those UMD discs. I still have it. Not my Resident Evil 2, but you can have Van Wilder. I will send it in one of these boxes. I still have it. It's in one of these. Nope, that's Resident Evil Apocalypse. I'm keeping that one. Yeah, but you can have my Van Wilder on UMD. So it's but only one person gets it.
That format will never die.
Is that Ultra Mini Disc? Is that UMD?
Universal Media Disc.
Yeah, it was a Sony proprietary thing.
It's universal in that it only works with the Sony PSP, which isn't being made. So yeah, you can have Van Wilder. You can have my Twisted Metal. Not Luminous. I'm keeping.
No, Luminous is nice. Yeah.
I'm keeping Luminous and Resident Evil Apocalypse. Yeah. So I kind of. Maybe do I still have Metal Gear Acid? I'll have to check to see if I.
So
still have
we're making a UMD box, like.
No,
technically everything is media if you're looking at the broader term of what media is. So we'll just have the UMD Dropbox and all the crap we don't want from our house, we could just send to people and charge like $60 for it.
So for $20 a week, we will send you a USB stick in the mail that contains one Just Cool Enough episode on it from one point in time.
There's 300 to choose from.
If you could just go ahead, Eric, and take them all off the internet now so that we can, because we don't want people to get access to it beforehand.
Actually, I was thinking about something like
I only
nice.
have 2 USB sticks. One I use, one I don't, and the one I don't use is currently I installed MemTest on it, and it's currently testing my PC. So
if each person only pays $20 to get one episode of JCE delivered to them on a USB stick every month, then that $20 would totally cover the.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right.
Hold it, and then we still make
media
profit.
is the future. Physical media is the future of media.
I know, like this like not having it thing. Like I don't like it. I like being able to feel my episodes, which is why we're gonna be releasing the whole Just Cool Enough catalog on LP.
Yeah. Actually,
vinyl.
No. It's good. To make it easier, we're doing it on 8-track, so people can store it easier. Because you know how hard it is to store vinyl.
Yeah, that's tough. 8-track.
They can break and like scratch, but 8-tracks are small and they're compact.
They sound warmer.
Yeah, they have such a warm noise. That's a great idea.
If you pay the special price of $200, you can get each episode every month in Morse code.
We're gonna send you 35 8-tracks in the mail in a box.
Yeah, we will. I mean, if you want to, if that's like seems too expensive, we will break it down into its binary ones and zeros and send you that. We will email you the
punch cards.
We're
gonna send punch cards of Just Cool Enough.
We're gonna send you cassettes, but not like audio cassettes, data cassettes for those old school computers that used cassettes as data tapes.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so every month you'll be sent 808 tracks. One episode on 808 tracks that you can play.
No, you only need like for our whole catalog. You really only need like 35 8-tracks. So like that's a really good deal. Anyway,
How much storage does an 8-track have? Because
8 tracks. You can store 8 tracks, Eric. It's no big.
Yeah, but
if you divide, if each episode is 1 track.
Yeah, but I don't think an hour-long podcast.
No, you don't understand technology at all, Eric. Every episode could fit on each track. It's super easy.
That was the brilliant of that technology. That it didn't have a size limit. It had a number of tracks limit, so you could have the highest fidelity you wanted as long as they were individual tracks.
These are lossless FLAC files we'll be sending you, hour-long. Only the best. Only the best for our paid listeners.
You have to get on this deal today. It's brought to you by Time Life.
Could we make this offer if these people weren't listening to us?
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool taking ideas from other people if we did like a T-shirt of the month or something like that. But if we don't have an artist on staff or anything like that would be able to sell that. And we don't know any T-shirt people that could hook us up, so
And also, nobody's ever bought any T-shirts ever. Even when we worked on that radio station that was significantly more popular than this one.
I'm just spitballing ideas. We'll 8-track T-shirts, and then we'll use razors, like the ones I get.
Actually, they're going to be 8-track T-shirts. They're the same. They're one physical object.
So I signed up for a new video game. And it's called Guild Wars 2. Have you guys played that at all?
No.
All right. Well, conversation over then. We'll talk about it some other time. All right.
I don't want to. I mean, I did finally let my WoW subscription lapse, but I'm not ready to commit to another MMO.
Well, the thing is, it was on sale for $20 on the Humble store, so I was like, sure, why not? There's no subscription fee. I'll pick it up. Actually, pretty good time. The game like really flows well because you never turn in any quests. It's really weird. You don't have to go back to like a quest hub. You're just like, you kill all the things and then it's like, you're done. That's it. Here's your reward. I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. It's very, I don't know. It flows really well. But anyway, I guess we'll talk about that some other time.
No, fucking you brought it up. Fucking talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it if you guys don't want.
I bought the Jackbox Party Pack is what I bought for Mother's Day when my parents are here.
You bought it for your mom?
Well, no, I bought it so we.
You can't talk about it because we didn't buy. Because that's how Joe runs the show. I went to Germany. Oh, you didn't go to Germany? Well, then we'll talk about it some other time.
Well,
I'll wait till you guys go to Germany and then we can talk about it. I've actually been there, but Eric, you got to catch up because we can't talk about it.
Yeah, Eric, you're the only one that hasn't been there yet, so we're waiting on you to talk about Germany.
Nah.
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 I don't know. Well, maybe if you guys asked me some interesting questions and I didn't have to just blabber on, maybe I would keep talking about stuff.
Fucking, I don't know anything about the game. Explain me the fucking game then.
It's a fucking MMO that flows really well, and I like it a lot, and I'm going to keep playing it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks for bringing that up.
So anyway, we have an email, Ike.
Do we?
It's from HostGator telling us that SpeedyF40.com needs to be renewed.
Okay, first of all, fuck you for telling anybody that I use HostGator because I don't like that service. I use Hover, by the way, and you should know that because they've emailed us 17,000 times. They're currently our favorite fan.
So Eric and I don't use Hover, so we're not talking about that on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get the joke. You must have taken funny pills like 2 weeks ago because you have came alive. I've listened back through some episodes, like the last two, and I was like, "Oh, Ike's really funny. We should let him talk more."
That's because I got bored and played video games during the show. It's like listening to your favorite podcast, but not your favorite podcast, and being a part of it at the same time.
Yeah. Anyway, that's how I felt last week when I was playing Grand Theft Auto and I wasn't talking much. But it's like. Listen. It's like just playing a video game, listening to a podcast, but occasionally you can chime in.
Yeah, it's like breaking the fourth wall.
Imagine you're sitting there and you're just like, "Hey, Leo Laporte, what do you think about this?" And then Leo Laporte fucking answers you. Cool.
Except far less cooler and a lot less listeners. But that's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was killing me when I was in Germany listening to the show. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about that. And then by the time I got here, I'm like, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. It's old news. So yeah, like I was talking.
Like when it's just me and Eric, I do like doing the show with just Eric, but I also feel like it's always being like on an awkward first date, if you will, where it's like you don't quite know how to approach a conversation with the other person, and you're just both kind of sitting there. So I just ask him lots of questions.
But it works. It works. That's your nervous tick. You ask Eric
then I
questions.
go home alone and beat off and cry.
You do too?
There's something you guys could build on together when I'm away next time.
It's just like I get home and realize
the whole dynamic of the show.
I get home, I go through the whole podcast in my head and think about all the times I could have gone in for the kiss and I didn't, and it's awkward and then you're probably at home going, I guess he didn't like me. He didn't try and kiss me. So.
It's like exactly. It's exactly like that. So
anyway,
I do have Okay,
no?
yeah, let's get to the email.
You segued to an email, and then I drove away from it, and we came back.
Speaking of driving, I almost sold my Dodge Diplomat.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
We don't have Dodge Diplomats.
So we're not talking about that on the show.
Why not? No, I swear it's something that you'll want to hear. So I posted my Diplomat out on Craigslist, and I've gotten some really weird people that want to buy a car from 1978 for $1,000. And
Wait, you posted on Craigslist?
Yeah.
I feel like anything on Craigslist you're going to get from like weird people responding.
It's great. You just meet the most interesting types. Anyway, so this guy was like, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000 for the Diplomat," and I'm like, I don't know. I was thinking more like $1,200, and the guy's like, fuck, I can't do $1,200. How about $1,050 plus a sword? And I'm like, and like
You're speaking my language.
I was like, this man knows how to negotiate very well. So within the minute he sent me like that message, like, how about 1050 plus a sword? I said yes. I didn't look at the sword. I didn't ask about the sword. I'm like, I just want the sword. Just give it to
Maybe
me.
this tiny like He-Man plastic sword from like 19 that's like this
I mean,
big.
No.
Just quick caveat, buyer beware. This sword was used in an unsolved murder.
That's I didn't think about that, right? So anyway, I'm like, guy, I like immediately text a couple people like, I'm gonna sell the Diplomat for like over $1,000 and get a sword. It's gonna be amazing. And then that same day, a story was published where like 30-year-old man gets stabbed in Belleville, and my family was freaking out. Like they messaged me like, "Are you okay? We saw somebody got stabbed in Belleville. We knew you were making a deal with the sword and stuff." And like, no, I'm fine. I didn't get stabbed. That was somebody else. Don't worry about it. But
That's just so he has an excuse to show up to the deal with a sword because like, yeah, I'm getting a sword, and then he fucking just shanks you through the stomach with it.
I was like, oh well, I know a couple people with concealed weapons license. Maybe it's like, you're like, don't bring a sword to a gunfight. Have some people come with me just in case.
Or if you're gonna be in a sword fight, bring a gun with you.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I was practicing my parries and dodges, just in case the guy goes crazy. I'm getting all excited, but then he called me and was like, never mind, I lost all my money in a weird betting accident, and he made some bullshit excuse and I didn't get my sword. But he was really disappointed that I didn't ask more about his sword, so he just started talking about it. Because apparently this possession was something that meant a lot to him. I was like, yeah, I'll take the sword. He's like, do you want to see any pictures or anything of it? I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. So he sends me pictures. He's like, this sword was this and that. It was like super special to him. But then, yeah, people were like, that's totally a murder weapon. I'm showing pictures. Like, that's totally a murder weapon. Joe, do not take that sword.
It was special to me because I used it to flay the skin off my first victim before I buried her in my backyard.
Yeah. And then I had another person say, like,
ocean in the basket.
What if that sword's like Frostmourne and it changes you, Joe? Like, what if you're just, you have the sword and you're like,
Joe turns into the bitch king. This is not what I had in mind.
No. The guy's name was Uther, though, so there was that. Anyway, we have an email that somebody sent to the show, and the email address for our show is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Again, that email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Please send us, you know what? We're really good at advice, so I recommend you send in your questions asking us for life help. We've done so much.
You should bring up that we're good at giving advice, because this is a person looking for advice.
Wow, we happen to have some of that.
Anyway, it says, hi guys, I recently broke up with my girlfriend of 2 years and lost almost all of my friends. I'm looking to meet new people who have the same interests as me, but I don't even know where to start looking. I'm in an area that doesn't have much nerd culture close by, so I don't know what to do. Please, could you guys give me some advice on what I should do? Thanks, Joe. Wait, well, Joe, are you trying to tell us something? What? Did you email the show, break up with Sarah, and now you can't do the show anymore?
I don't have any friends anymore.
No, I mean, it depends. What are your interests? Like, you're looking for people with shared interests. It depends on what your interests are. I mean,
he's really into the fetish culture.
I hope not.
Because I guess my answer really depends on what your. I would need more information to tell you, because like, it's hard to tell you to try. Like, I'm like, go to this thing, but I'm not interested in that. Well, then fucking stay away from that thing. I don't.
Well, so, I think that the first thing to address in this email is he lost mostly all of his friends. My first suggestion would be that, or statement would be that they weren't your friends then. Because real good friends, even though it can be hard, will stay your friend regardless of like the breakup. They'll be friends with both people.
Yeah, I mean, fucking look at Joe. Like, how long have me and Ike known Joe and just still are friends with him? I mean,
we don't have to be friends with each other, but we're both friends with Joe.
Yeah, I mean, like me and Ike, like we fall apart a lot, but like we fucking stay with Joe for some reason. I don't fucking know.
It's because I'm warm and fuzzy on the inside. Like
that was cookie dough.
It's partial cookie dough. The other stuff I can't talk about. Ike, you're bringing up a really interesting thing because you're reading into this a little bit. Like, his friends are not his friends anymore, right? So
Well, I mean, it
have,
depends on how he lost them. If it was like, you don't have a girlfriend, fucking
They
loser,
crashed you to a mountainside and a fire.
fuck you. Or did they all die in the same plane crash in the Andes? Or did your girlfriend dump you and then you graduated high school and all your friends went to college? Like,
because that
because
happens,
that happens
also.
too.
Yeah.
It depends on how you lost your friends.
Maybe
Like,
he got into a violent biker gang shootout in the middle of the desert.
yeah, because that's how I lost all my friends. Basically, after high school, I graduated, moved a little further away from where I was before, near the few friends my good friends, and most of them went to college anyways, and we still hung out a little bit, like once or twice a year when they'd come back from college. But after a while, that stopped happening, and I just didn't have friends until I really moved out to Los Angeles.
So there's a cheat for finding new people in places. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this person lives in Michigan, and Comic-Con was like last weekend over here, so you probably missed out if you didn't go to that. But what I'm thinking is Facebook pretty much lets you cheat and just find your friends really close by interests. So like, say I like I like cars. So let me find an organization that promotes that. Okay, there's like this SCCA racing thing, and they have events going on every weekend. So I subscribe to their group, and I get a bunch of updates about what they're doing and things like that. And I just think you go to meetups about things that you like.
Yeah, there's a whole website dedicated called Meetup.com.
And
where
that's true too.
You can just be looking, like, I'm looking for, I don't know, cars, or fucking people who are into writing movie scripts, or people who are into Dungeons and Dragons, or people who are into fucking Renaissance fairs, or whatever the fuck you're interested in. You can look and find events in your local area and then sign up and
See, I totally disagree. What you need to do is get your subscription to WoW going again. Listen to podcasts. What you need to do is find a podcast you really like, email them, see if you can be on the podcast, and then you'll make internet friends, which are like real friends, but not really at all.
But better because they're portable.
Yeah, because you can take them anywhere, and you don't have to see them when you don't want to.
Yeah.
Look, I went to meetups.com in Michigan right now, and you have single attractive men and 50-plus women. I mean, there's the IT and the D meetup, girl development in Ann Arbor. There's tons of stuff. Look at this. Like, oh god, yeah, there's lots of good meetups you could go to. Just head over to meetup.com. But seriously though, I've actually used meetup.com when I was in Indianapolis, just trying to make some friends. And although the people I talk to, I don't talk to those people anymore, at the time it was really kind of an interesting thing to go and just meet new people, and you just never know where that stuff leads. So,
and also, this is not conventional wisdom, but it's okay to just be alone sometimes. You don't have to always be around people. You don't have to see people every day. You can go to movies alone. You can go to restaurants alone. It's okay sometimes to just being okay being by yourself is a really awesome thing to do.
Dude,
It's
Eric,
good that you can finally admit that, Eric.
no, seriously,
I'm
I
not
think
okay by myself. I've spent years finding that out.
This is what happened with Eric. Like, there's the bell curve. It was like normal, and then he got like better, and he like learned things about himself. But then he just stayed by himself for too long, and then the curve started going down, and then it's just like here. But I think we're on the second coming of Eric here. So, but yeah, like, I think that's a really astute thing to say, because spending time alone allows you to kind of discover who you are a little bit. And I think that if you do spend time alone and actually use that time to be productive, like, spend time alone but do something that's going to better yourself. Set yourself on a goal and try to accomplish something. And if you have an objective that's like a clear, defined objective, and you accomplish it, you get that sense of accomplishment, and you are bettering yourself. So I don't know. I like it's like a hyperbolic training center, but for your mind.
Now, I noticed the other important thing to me in your email that really pokes out that you're trying to get at is that you wanted nerd culture. There isn't any nerd culture close by. And I know this will be the only time, Joe, that I bring this up this week, because we didn't actually play this week. But playing D&D or no, we cancel it, and we won't be doing it next week because Wes is getting drunk. Anyway, find nerd culture online. I'm not saying that you should shift your whole life to be online, but if you can't find nerd culture close by, find a way to bring nerd culture to you. either reach out and accept that maybe you're going to have to drive an hour plus away to some of these things, or find ways of participating in nerd culture that you enjoy, and maybe it is through the internet. And I don't necessarily mean just video games, but there are plenty of other
just
ways
about
to be part of it.
every like shop that sells like fucking Warhammer and Magic the Gathering cards does a D&D thing every Wednesday. They do Magic multiple times. You know, they do those kind of things. So if that's the kind of shit you're into, there's probably some fucking comic book shop somewhere that does something that you might be interested to.
There's actually a really good one close to where this person lives. I know it.
Unless you don't know where they live.
The other way to do it, and this is the super hard one, so if you're not a person who's self-motivated and willing to go out and put themselves out there, this might not work for you. But the other way to do it is if there isn't a lot of nerd culture close by and you don't want to sit in front of a computer screen, be the one to create it. Find a place that people are posting things. Maybe it is meetup.com or something like that, and maybe you start the nerd culture. Because that means there are probably plenty of people around you who are in the same boat and have nowhere to go who would be more than willing to participate.
You know, one other note on like relationships that I just wanna comment on. If you're in a relationship and you are not allowed to see your friends, or they severely limit you in some way, like you need to run. Like you need to be able to be your own person, and they need to be able to accept that person for who you are. And I think like when you're going like for that next person in your life, just make sure they're accepting and they embrace who you are, not try to change who you are, because there's no way you're going to be in a long-term happy relationship if you're constantly being limited or feel like you're not able to express yourself in your own way, whether that way is video games, art, whatever, you know, cutting the lawn in a special design, you know, like I don't care what it is, but you know,
but having said that, at some point you have to take all the fucking Halo and World of Warcraft posters off your wall and stop buying fucking toys.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, check that out. I got my Star Wars posters up there.
Yeah, but you both designed those rooms to look like that after you got women. Like
No. I was given my room.
Dude, yeah. You've been through my ups and downs and everything through my relationship with Sarah. This show essentially started when I started dating Sarah. It was like around the same time, and I mean, like, you gotta find somebody that's gonna be able to accept that once in a while.
I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be fucking a nerd. I mean, we're all fucking nerds.
Hey, let's not just go willy-nilly throwing the N-word around here, okay?
That's my word.
You can't let it be your only definition. Like, I wouldn't, like, I am a huge fucking nerd about so many things, but it's not my everything. It can't be your everything, and I think I
get what you're saying though. You have to be well-rounded, and you don't want to go so far down one path because
you don't want to
like
be
nerd
the guy,
and porn fiend. There you go.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy sitting in his room, fucking yelling at 13-year-olds about Star Wars, and just like just on the internet. You want to have more interests. Like try and expand.
What are you saying? You're telling me my whole life. Terrible lie.
Maybe try some shit you don't. If you don't have any friends and you can't find like whatever nerd shit that you're looking for, maybe try some shit that's a little outside your comfort zone, or maybe it's like sort of not exactly what you're into, but maybe close to. I don't fucking know. Maybe take a fucking judo class. I don't know, but try something a little different, something that you think, maybe I'll try that. Like fucking with me, it was improv. I was like, I don't know if I'm really into improv, but fuck it, I'll take it. And now I'm fucking stuck. Now you're doing
awesome stuff. Young budding comic.
See, Joe, and to piggyback on one of the points that you brought up, when I first started dating Amanda, I said to her, listen, I play a lot of video games, and I have friends who are female who I'd like to hang out with. If that's a problem for you, or you get in the way, and you don't want me to do those things, then we won't be together. Like, set the ground rules.
Right. And it, like, you know, like, okay, you know, maybe just don't, like, burp and fart around them for, like, a little while. You
always let them do it first if you're the male in the relationship.
Right, yeah. That's actually a good rule. That's one of your best parts of your advice you've ever given. Always let them break radio silence first.
Then all bets are off. If they're like, I didn't mean to, be like, oh, you did.
Oh, you just unleashed hell. You better get used to this brand because it's going to be around for a while. Whoa, gross. Yeah, I just find somebody who adores you for who you are. It's definitely not worth wasting your time with people that don't appreciate
I adore you for who you are.
I know, right? And that's why I like doing the show with you, mainly Ike.
Yeah, I've been trying to change him for years.
That's the thing. Like, Eric's always just like, Joe, why do you want to gotta wear that shirt? I'm like, Eric, that's my favorite shirt. And he's like, come on, like, let's think about this for a second. This shirt has like comic book characters. I'm just like, Eric, come on, man. And then like, I'm like, Eric, can you just give me like a little like hand? No, I won't. And then like, I'm like, you're a barren wasteland. I hate you. And then we start the show. That's how the show generally starts.
By the way, as a non sequitur, Joe, and to show that I care about you, I don't know if you're familiar with the app Time Hop.
Yeah, I know what that Time Hop is.
For the people that aren't, it culls through all of your social media that you're willing to hook it up to, and pulls out pictures and events and things like from last year on this date, 7 years ago on this date. I believe it was 7 years ago yesterday or the day before we took you to the Mirror Bar in Providence.
That was a learning experience. The whole day, Ike was asking me if I'm okay with gay people. I'm like, yeah, dude, what's wrong? I'm like, why? What's going on?
Well, I had a big secret, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I got what you were going with, but I really wish I would have been able to have a little bit more memory there, because all I could remember is just there was tons of girls that I was able to dance with because all the dudes were dancing with each other. I was like, what? And then Ike was a gracious host. He was like, listen, Joe needs to get girls, so all the girls go around him, make him feel really welcome. I felt very welcome, Ike. Thank you. 7 years. 7 years it takes me, but thank you.
Well, I was trying to come to your place April break this year, but you wouldn't host me. You decided to make other plans and go elsewhere.
Is it April yet?
No, it's not.
I can't.
You still got about 11 months.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Next April for sure. I'm planning on doing a California trip this summer and then a trip over to Pennsylvania again.
Neither of those places are where I live, Joe.
I know. I'm gonna go visit. I'm gonna go visit Eric instead.
Mexico, and then I'm going up to Alaska. So maybe someday I'll get over to your part of the woods.
No, what I'm telling you is I'm trying to let you down easy. There's probably no way I'm gonna be able to.
I just want to let you know I was gonna go to Seattle, but now I'm not. So.
So what we need to do is when you plan to go to California, we both should crash at Eric's place, and we could do a show live on the same screen.
That would be actually. I do plan on doing a little bit of like an automotive podcast tour over there. That's very possible. Eric, thanks for inviting us.
Yep. Your room looks big enough that one of us could crash.
Shotgun bed.
I mean, yeah,
it's gonna be like BlizzCon. It's gonna be like BlizzCon all over again, where I get to sleep on the floor for a few days.
We could probably all fit on the bed. I'm just saying.
That's where we should do the show from live.
As long as Joe's in the middle, because I don't get along with you, and I really connect with Joe.
I'm gonna keep everyone so warm. I'm like a blast furnace, guys. You won't even need blankets.
I got a down comforter, and this is Southern California. Heat is not the issue.
It's gonna be.
Oh.
Oh God.
Well, what we can do is put some kind of like liquid catching device. This is gonna sound wrong, but wait till I get to the end.
Oh my God.
I know you're having a bit of a drought right now, so we can catch all that the sweat that's coming off Joe from him being a furnace, not other types of liquid.
I'll bring my sweat from Michigan, and you could drain me out like
exactly.
some sort of weird towel.
Just be like the space shuttle. It's got a 93% reclamation of water.
All right, I'm gonna come in for a landing. Just like let out all my fluids. I'm helping California.
Joe's actually he's 50 pounds of water that he just retains at all times.
I am.
He can
like
let
a
it
camel.
go whenever he wants.
I'm like it's all water weight, guys. There's a lot of muscle under there. Yeah, so I think we adequately answered this person's question. Thanks for emailing the show, and hopefully we were able to help a little bit. I mean, life's tough.
As no one ever bothers.
Anyways, let's stop talking about all this horse shit, like trying to make friends, and start plugging each other.
All right.
I got nothing.
Oh, come on. You've been doing comedy stuff. You got videos. You got something.
I'm working on a video that's not done yet.
What is it about?
It's about Star Wars.
All right. So that's good. That's a good start. I guess, is it my turn to plug already?
Sure.
Okay, my plug for this week is a video game podcast hosted by David and Davis, and it's over on shoutengine.com, but that's not the reason I'm plugging it. It's just a little bit of the reason. It's a nice video game podcast. They're about 30 episodes in, so they're in their infancy, but they've just done a really good job. It's called the Electro Cybercast 2. Electric Cybercast 2. So go check them out. They did a breakdown of Zelda, and then they talked about a game that I never heard of in the Zelda series called Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, which was never released in the U.S., and I was just, I enjoy talking about them. Audio issues aside, they're a great show, and I think they're going places. So check them out, the Electric Cybercast 2.
And I guess this is where I plug something. I had this thing I was going to plug, and then I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the Jackbox Party box there, because that's pretty awesome. I've been getting my kids at school to play Drawful, because, art class, Drawful makes sense. It's where you draw pictures of things. But check out...
Also, that means you don't have to think of a lesson plan. So
It's true, and because I'm lucky to have 18 iPads in my classroom, and I have a smart board. It means I can just put it up on the wall, and we can all connect with our iPads.
Let's give a shout out to Austin Gibbs, the only person who made a comment in our YouTube video this week. So, awesome shout out to you. He says shit's weak, and then also a big shout out to Slanik, who had his baby just recently. So Slanik
and to K-Win, but I won't take it away yet.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
I was gonna pull what's his face, Kanye West, and be like, "That's cool, and all." I'm glad Slanik, but still, K-Win got a
friend of the show, Christina K-Win. I've been on the show many times. Got a brand spanking new job at Blizzard Entertainment.
Living the dream. I was so excited. I was like, I gotta Facebook message this. This is so cool. So, vicariously living through people that we know in our past, definitely check.
Or as Joe likes to say, vicariously living through.
Is that a real thing?
Well, I said, hey, look, now I actually have another way of maybe being able to get BlizzCon tickets. And I don't mean at a discount price or for free, but actually getting some way of getting to BlizzCon tickets, because I'd really like BlizzCon tickets.
Maybe, this is the year.
I know Eric knows a guy who, apparently you know him too, I don't. But
now we all know.
How did you not end up knowing this guy?
I don't know. Maybe I don't think I did.
He has a very similar name to one of the hosts of this show.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. You can always follow me on Twitter. I'm at Duncor, Duncor.
You could follow me on, let's say do Twitter this week. Follow me on Twitter at SpeedyF40, SpeedyF40.
Now, is my lower third actually on? Because it says it's on.
It's definitely not.
Like, it's turned on. I can click it.
It's not even a little bit on.
I'm going to, click, because I was going to,
you click the check mark.
Okay, dude, I think your sound driver might be affecting your lower third. Seriously.
It must be. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram at Ike_Dodge.
And you can always check out the website, justcoolenough.com, or email us at the show at justcoolenough.com. But until next week, go see fucking Mad Max. It's amazing. And fuck off.
That's our homework, Ike. That's our homework. We have to go see Mad Max so we could talk about our next week's episode.
Well, I was thinking about going tonight, and then I was like, oh, fuck, I got to do a video game
Witness me!
So maybe all I have to do is be like, okay, we'll meet back here for video games in a half hour, and I just won't fucking show up.
I don't remember what came up last time.